to Nigeria now, especially our rural communities. And part of what we're trying to do now with our 4th edition Make We Go Farm workshop, the theme of the workshop is going to be climate smart agriculture with a key focus on cassava and rice value chain. Now, what climate can do to it definitely reduce our agricultural production. No doubt, it's very clear. Secondly, weather changes on our weather system. The recent report by MNet, if I'm right,
NIMET.
that rains will stay till November now, which means Nigerians can take another advantage for another second cycle farming. Now, before, rain stops within September ending stroke October 20-something. Okay. So that is as a result of climate activities. Now, it also had to do with temperature. Now, it will affect our quality of food as well. That's why most of our mothers, please hear me very clearly, you notice you prepare your meal. After a few hours, because you covered it, you didn't store it, the food will get soured. These are effects of climate change, even as far to prepared meal. If you have observed that too, these are effects of climate change and all that. So the only thing we can do is to see that relevant research institutions in Nigeria should keep updating farmers at a very, let it be at the fingertips of farmers on time, so that we can avoid losses, because a lot of farmers are actually losing a lot. So we can go on and begin to throw a light the impacts, the negative impact, whether positive or negative impact of climate change. The truth is climate change is something that every nation, every agencies of government that are in charge of agri-related and all that needs to do more to ensure that we avert those issues that are ahead of us. You can see so many countries are already working on that, investing so much on climate agriculture. Last 2 months, we were part of a team that actually had a workshop on that as well. Farmers need to get more information, detailed reports on the subject matter and how we can avoid the effect of climate change in agricultural produce.
Okay, so let's hear about other challenges faced by Nigerian farmers and food transporters. You know, that could potentially
that area is something we all know of. Now, the cost of fuel is another issue.
Is that what is taking a toll on the
yes, that's one.
Pricing and
that's
all that?
One. The cost means of transportation is one. The middleman is two. You get it? Like farmers now, what they do is most of them, you know, let me just start this way. Agriculture or farming is not something you just go into without getting your mind prepared.
For losses.
Yes, for losses and all that. So there are ways to go around it. You need to look for, before you take off any particular crop, you must get yourself involved. You must look at means of transportation to the nearby market. You must also try to look for a ready market before you get this done. So these prices you are talking about, transport is one major thing. But I also call it as the human factor. Because that's why we're also suggesting that through our Make We Go Farm initiative, we are saying farming is possible in every rural communities. That reduce interstate transport of food products. Of course, there are different patterns of your farming now. There are greenhouses, there are hydroponics and all that. So we do not even need to transport food, certain commodities from Kaduna to Lagos. So if we begin to explore such new ideas of farming, it will crack down the high cost of transportation. Then let's talk about the main point, farmers. The truth still remains that people will always say farmers are not sincere. But I will not mention some international organizations that have interface with us because of what we do. They have noticed that it's not that farmers are not truthful, but farmers are being cheated by one, the quality of seed and fertilizers you give to them. Now, it doesn't take up to 2 weeks for you to know if a seed you gave to a farmer is a good one. It will show within a week. If the quality of seed is not good, the quality of fertilizer and pesticide, herbicides and all that, it will affect the output. So those are some of the things due to, I will use a word to say, unfaithfulness of those in government that has been assigned to say, okay, the government is bringing an intervention by way of seedlings, fertilizer, this, that, and that, and all that. These things are substandard and it also affects the output of any productivity expectation of any farmer. So these are the things we are saying to government, that whoever that will be put in charge for this, first, these seeds or these fertilizers should be taken to labs to certify them good before being given to farmers. So, so with the area you are looking at, which is the hiking of food pricing, the human factor is the last area I will dwell on this particular question. Nigerians, we need to have change of heart. Take for example, a woman, this is not an agri sector now, a woman bought a bag for 15,000 and sells for 150,000.
A bag of what?
A bag, fashion bag.
Oh, okay.
So hiking of things is not just farm input and all that alone. Like I did production of rice. There is no need for rice to be sold for 80,000 or 85,000. But again, why we cannot really begin to point fingers at people 100% is because, one, there is very low rate of production in terms of rice farming. So when the rice leaves from the farmer to the third party, which is the middleman, that's what we want. The middleman still wants to make high profits. So, but in a real sense, if you did directly from your farm, you harvest your paddy, you do your processing and all that, you should be able to sell rice at a very fair rate. I think a profit margin of 3,000 per bag is not a bad profit margin. The profit margin of 5,000 per bag is not a bad profit margin. But you can see what 15,000, 12,000 profit margin and all that. And people also hoard these food items to make sure that they sell at a very high rate. This is something we as Nigerians should stop, so that at least, because if like I always say, if the politicians can afford it, the ordinary Nigerian cannot afford it.
And I think this answers the question that probably will be on the mind of the viewer right now.
So why
would I go to the market, buy something at a certain amount, and when I go back,
you want to make almost 400%.
So this answers that
like
question.
this morning, I love momo. Once in a while, if I want to go
Which
on
one?
momo,
The
leafy one, the one with the leeway. Now, I usually buy for 500, but like maybe a month plus now, I've not gone there. I won't mention the eateries, their brands, so let's not mess up their brands. The mama jumped from 500 naira to 1,000, and I asked the lady there from 500 to 1,000 years.
When you bought at 500, how much was a mudu of beans? I'm sure it was still the same price.
Irrespective of the price of a mudu
I'm on your
of
path,
beans.
actually. I'm on this path.
Now, okay,
I'm sure it was still the same amount.
A friend of mine traveled to US. At some point, they wanted to increase fares. They took time to do a lot of publicity and all that. They won't declare free fare for 1 month and all that. And when the price review came, it's even less than $1. But why in our own country, you see that when something is leaving, it goes with at most 2,000.
And then it never comes down.
It never comes down.
It
never comes down.
Other countries, festive periods, you see
it's
discounts.
Exactly. Ease off stress.
But in Nigeria, it's a different.
Okay, that's a good one. So I want to still pick out from what you've said earlier on, because you spoke about the youths, and also you spoke about the elderly people in farming. And then I've come to realize that farming in Nigeria, may be the least of maybe the least accepted amongst youths in our country. Going by the protests that happened, most of the people on the streets were youths. You understand? They were the one chanting the cause of Ed Hunger. Okay, let's leave it. Yes, Ed Hunger and all of that. And then they are expected to, contribute by like you said, going to the farm. So now I would love to find out from you, what exactly is the role of youth in agricultural development in our country?
Well, the youth, has a lot of role. But if you notice, we have been through phases in our country, bringing initiative that will be attractive to youths. 80% of them has not worked.
So, what do you think exactly is the problem of those initiatives that were, brought out for youths to be interested? Like, what really is that problem that's killing the youth's
It's
interest
not,
in
agriculture
agriculture?
is not attractive to them. Why? Let's say you are a daughter of a farmer, and you know what your father went through
Hmm.
for years. A farmer from childbirth. You knew what you went through. To even get your first degree was, you could get it.
Of course.
Your mom was pregnant, no good antenatal, no hospitals and all that. Your mom, maybe you are the first child, you see your mom already at the second level of your siblings, 8 months pregnant, still tilling the soil and all that. So they see agriculture as a poor man's job. But agriculture is not a poor man's job. And I thank you for asking this question. I will throw more light. Now, if you notice, it's only in this country that 80% of civil servants still remain in jobs. It's like their inheritance. I'm not digressing. I'm going somewhere.
Of course.
Now, a lot of youth wants to work in government parastatals. In fact, many of them want to work in CBN, some want to work with NDIC, many of them want to name it NNPC, and all that. Why? The package
Is
attractive. So if we could make agriculture attractive, whereby a civil servant will look at a farmer, a young farmer, earning more or living well.
And look at him that wakes up early in the morning to go to
join traffic.
Yes.
Go to work, come back, and 80% of their salary goes for
transportation.
Rent. No, forget about transportation. No.
Let's not even go there.
Goes for rent and food. Tell me, what will you choose as a profession in the future?
Go for farming.
Prefer farming.
We have a lot to still talk about on the topic this morning. We're looking at the fact that Nigerians just want to eat. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa, still in the studio discussing agricultural project, food security and sufficiency. Guest is still with us in the studio in person of Onapoma Martins, who is the founder and president, Quebec Food Processing Industrial Parks Limited. Now, just while we, past our time, for a bit, but just to wrap up my own question, before we went on the break, we're actually talking about the attraction of farming to youth and all of that. So what do you think the government can do to, to attract this youth in investing in farming, joining the elderly people to farm?
Okay, you see, the issue of security is one. They need to address that. And I want to assure Nigerians that a lot is being done in that area. We are presently working with the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps And as this week, about 10,000 officers of the Agro-Regions Department that are saddled with the responsibility to ensure that farmers are protected, farmlands are protected, are being deployed to about 19 states. You know, harvest season is coming and all that. So for security, I want to say that the government is making serious efforts. So youth shouldn't be scared of the issue of insecurity anymore,
Okay.
protective of their lives. Government is working so hard. I can beat my chest for that.
Oh, that's good.
Now, provision of interventions in terms of access to seed and all that, government should do more than what they are doing now. Then we want government to also buy into our ideology of providing HMO, health insurance scheme, for farmers. Farmers should also have access to housing. So part of the plan is to ensure that farmers should be able to also benefit from the National Housing Funds, a system that can work. And that's why, I don't know if I can say this, but just permit me. The issue of land has become an issue, but what we are trying to do now is to see that everybody can farm in a well-secure environment. You lease the land and you pay certain amount. It covers your security for your land preparation, land clearing and all that. And irrigation, what else again? Irrigation, access to farmers. So what we are still doing, and we are selling that also to the government, which will be jointly be unveiled September 14, our 4th edition of Make We Go Farm, so that youth can come in. So the issue that has to be done is access to farmlands, access to finance, access to irrigation services so that we can do all year farming, access to health insurance scheme, insurance for their crops and all that, good practices to ensure that they overcome the issue of loss of their farm produce. These are things that will enable youth to come in. So, and a good special pay scheme for farmers who want to act as laborers. We already have that already. And we believe by the time we work with the government to unveil that, come September 14th, it will work out very well. So by so doing, you discover that the farmers household is earning close to 470,000 in a month. So by the time you take off deductions and all that, in a month, in a year, a premium that they need as 6-member household, only 108,000 will serve for health insurance. So if all these things put together, you will discover that cities like Lagos will be discongested and our rural communities will be bumping for.
So let's talk about everyday practices that folks can imbibe, towards farming, agriculture.
You know more of that.
Somewhere in your garden.
You know more of that.
I do.
You see, the first lady, sometimes people, because of emotions, sometimes we should not be too emotional. We should also look at some things from a positive area. We are open. For me, I'm open for partnership and collaborations. Thanks for Bank of Agriculture, they are doing that now. The truth is, the initiative of the first lady on that is not a bad one.
We're actually going to commend her, give a shout out
because to me,
to her
it's not too wise for you to see the budget to feed guests of the presidential villa. You see vegetables, 2 billion. Doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
You get the point, because vegetable is very expensive now. And my only pain is that even when we talk about, let's do our own garden at home and all that, we need fruits and vegetables to nourish our body, to balance a lot of things. So we should try as much as possible, every opportunity within our home, to plant vegetables. And we can also earn money from that. At least vegetable has made someone before to make a turnover of 40-something million. Sorry, not billion, million. Now, again, most of the vegetables, why we must do that, most of the vegetables you see, they are, I don't know the word to use, please, Joyce, if you can help me. They are too chemicalized.
Organic modified.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So it also have another side effect on us. So if we can farm our own vegetable at home, as side also, you understand, but it's going to help us.
So you can plant what you eat, because like they say, you are what you eat.
Yeah, what you eat,
so we would love to give our shout outs to the First Lady. She's been doing a lot, encouraging women to embrace farming.
I need to meet you there, Joyce. I'm sorry. From her initiative, she also launched a program that women by way of competition. So every woman out there, Joyce, I'm waiting to expect your fan as well. We'll be able to get 20 million, if you can remember.
But the thing is,
I'll start with it advisable. It is right. Growing up, I saw my mom, having a garden behind the house. We had bitter leaf, we had pumpkin leaves, we had vegetables, we had okra, we had pepper.
Even bitter leaf.
Bitter leaf, yes. We had scent
We
leaf.
are just
We
eating
hardly
sweet
exactly.
things.
We
People
had to
don't-
go to the
Start with the
market.
You can look for bitter
Exactly.
leaf. You can't find.
Yes.
In FCT, some
FCT,
areas you
no,
can't find
you
bitter
can't
leaf.
find bitter
Have
leaf,
bitter leaf in my compound.
but then growing up, I saw my mom, having all of those things in the house, and it kind of cut down the way we went to the market frequently. You
Okay.
understand? So it's really, really
And when you want to
advisable that
reduce your
every
sugar
woman out
intake
there-
too, you take
you
bitter
just
leaf.
exactly you just take
Yes.
bitter leaf. So it's very advisable for every woman out there, regardless whether you're married or you're single. If you have a little garden beside, even if you don't have a garden, thank God for you can improvise.
Yes, you get
you can have
sacks.
have
Just
sacks, and then just
get
plant.
the
You
right
even do
soil.
Plant
you could
something
even do
today.
potatoes.
Potatoes
Yes.
as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yams,
yeah,
roots.
yeah.
I think I need to come meet you for some,
Yes, we have to
ideas.
go farm. Thank you
Yes,
so much,
Thank
Mr.
you so much,
Martins.
Mr. Martins, for coming.
It's always a delight to have you on the
Exactly.
show. Thank you, sir. Any other thing you'd like to say?
My final words to Nigerians is that things will get better,
Amen.
Okay.
and we should just contribute our own quarter. Because whether government policies are taking time for implementation or for manifestation, every man, every woman will provide for their children. Have you checked? We that are parents. Somebody was talking to me and was saying, you will get here, you see a loaf of bread, this one 2,000. Say that one 1,500. The question is, are they not all bread?
Or is it not the same flour that I was using,
Now,
baking the
that's
bread?
a big question
Yeah.
and answer for another day.
Yes.
But the truth is,
No, but some
your
actually,
children
the taste is
do
different.
not want to
quality.
know whether this quality that they love has increased by 1,000.
You must
We
get
must
that
all
bread.
provide.
Yes,
So we
that's
must do
true.
everything to invest in agriculture. That's where I'm coming from
Thank
now.
you so much.
Let's
Mr.
invest in
Martin,
agriculture.
for that kind word. That's a very good one. So, Joyce.
Okay, well, I'd just like to say that a country is considered food secure when its citizens do not live in hunger, fear, or starvation. Ensure that you get your hands busy.
Well, for
We-
me,
basically.
I've said it. I'll still say it again. I advise everyone there, to just, have a little farm in their backyards, plant something, do something. Let's go back to farming. It's very important. That way, we can be able to, help in reducing the food shortage that we have in
And
the
if
country.
you're a policy maker, please, we beg you, stop frustrating the process. You're a wholesaler, stop frustrating the process.
If you're a
Yes.
market woman, stop
the
frustrating
change actually starts with
the process.
you.
Exactly. So on this note, we call it a wrap on the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Thank you so much for sticking around. You can watch this episode and subsequent episode by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Housing TV Africa. And good to say that you can download Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and App Store to stay connected wherever you go. I am Yamuna Bagudu. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Joyce also. See you another time.
Bye-bye.